there in your personal capacity. If there's a case where your country is involved, how would you handle that?
We must be open-minded.
Yes.
And the whole objective of this is to have peace and reconciliation. If there were to be such a situation in one's own country, one must be receptive to the good officers' role that we are talking about. I think I do not see any one of us purely because it is in your own country rejecting the bona fide good faith offer of anyone.
Because peace in our term also means conflict avoidance.
Okay.
Turning the conflict into cooperation. Any area that we can help reducing tension. So I think that would be the scope of our work as well. Another unique feature of the Sutichai of this group, in my view, is that each and every one of us, all 15 sitting around the table, has experience. Some of them were bureaucrats before. Some of them has experience in the business sector. Some of them were NGOs before, and almost all of them have held a high position in the government. So they know how the society works, how the society doesn't work, how the government works, how the government doesn't work, and relation among different entities in the country and across country. So I look at all of these friends around the table that each and every one of them can have access to all levels of people who are parties to the conflict. There are people around the table who can pick up the telephone and talk to the former prime minister of that country, or the incumbent prime minister, or the president, or the minister of that particular country, or the head of the NGO, or this or that. Imagine that only one person can have access to all levels of each party to the conflict. And when they act collectively, I mean, I can sense, I look at myself as only a coordinator, although they call me chairman of the meeting, but I can sense the power of this collectivity that is not seen anywhere. And I'm very grateful that they chose Thailand, Bangkok to be the venue of this particular meeting, which is very important indeed.
What would the relationship of this group with the UN, for example, or the ASEAN Secretariat? Cooperative.
I think we'd sum it up in a word. So I think that this is a group that aims to add value where we can without deprecating or contradicting the good efforts of any other group or government to make a contribution to the issues where we would choose to be involved. And there are very few conflicts that can be resolved neatly by one person or one group.
Sure.
It's a matter of many different organizations and institutions becoming involved in their own way. And I think we all agree today on a principle of openness, with who we would work with whom we would collaborate, what attitude we take towards the engagement of a national government, engagement of a multilateral organization, engagement of UN. I think the crucial point is that we believe a group like this can add value to the UN. It's no surprise that there are many issues where the UN is blocked to act for one or another reason. And where if you're a person of good heart working in the UN, you might wish there was an organization of this type that could help you work around some roadblock and get the thing back on track so you could come in later, at a later point. We're looking for those opportunities.
But may I say that we will reach out. No organization can work in isolation. So whether it's NGOs, whether it's multilaterals like United Nations, and there's a host of others, ASEAN included, and many other, academics, we could call on anybody. And I think we have to approach what we discussed today, any dispute resolution or peace initiative with an open mind. Nobody has an exclusive on wisdom.
Yes.
So you have to be, one of the sign of wisdom is that you look out and get the best from wherever. And whether it's multilaterals, whether it's government operatives or non-government organizations, there's no limit to it. We have to reach out and be all-inclusive.
One of the things that we emphasize today in our deliberation is that we don't look at APRC as duplicating the work of any other existing institutional arrangements in Asia or elsewhere, because we feel that peace belongs to everyone. So there may be several organizations that we have to work together. So we look at our role as either taking initiative in the area that no one is doing it, or complementing the work of the existing organization. Either ASEAN has certain organization doing it. If they need the help from the personalities of APRC, and we have a consensus, then we can do it. The same as the SAARC, the same as the GCC, the same as other regional organizations. So I think that would be the spirit of our work.
That's an important point. Because when I arrived in Bangkok, I read an article in local daily which posed the question, how come we are thinking of this organization, APRC, when ASEAN in November is going to launch the ASEAN Institute of Peace and Research.
Yes.
So I completely agree with what Surakiat and Prof. Kennedy said, that this approach must be that we are supportive and complementing any other existing or proposed new initiatives. I think there is no limit to the number of initiatives designed to reduce tensions or have preventive diplomatic efforts. For the AIPR, I think it's a good initiative of ASEAN, but that would be mainly track 1 kind of initiative, whereas APRC would be a track 2. And secondly, it goes beyond ASEAN. It has Asian-wide focus, as Prime Minister Shaukat Aziz mentioned in our meetings. So I don't see it as a conflict or duplication, and I think there's considerable room for many organizations.